Governator is a blend of Sesh and Snapshot. So it allows for token weighted and other token strategies to be used directly in Discord with emoji votes without the necessary need to sign every single message. So we use more of a session managed voting rather than individual signed voting. So you'd basically be able to log in like once every 30 days. That gives you a session, and you're able to use your tokens to vote throughout that period. And so I'll just give you a quick little demo. I'll use BanklessDAO, for example. And then we're going to go through two things. One is poll creation, and the second is voting using your tokens. So here we are in the BanklessDAO community screen. You can see some of the past polls that I've created here. We can even go and view them. We'll focus first on poll creation. So we'll come up with a quick demo poll. Do you like that? Of course, we have to choose the right emoji. Very important. We'll give it an end time. Since this is a quick demo, we'll just pop it off at 15 minutes. Typically, we could limit by any of the roles that we have available in Discord. I don't know off the top of my head which would be available to us in this room, so we'll have no roles restricting this. And for the sake of this, we'll leave the standard one cast vote is just equal to 1 vote power. You can also use the bank token weighted strategy, and this section is quickly becoming my favorite part of Governator because you can design whatever you want. Integrate with Twitter API to pull in number of followers, number of posts on discourse. Just the variety is endless. Right now, we're working to integrate the Education Guild Gorley tokens here as well. So this will become the fun piece of Governator here, and then in the future, partnering up with folks at ThriveCoin or Rep3 or Mosaic to introduce and use reputation and earn reputation from voting here. We're also currently working on where can I send it? Do you think would be the best area? Ernest, Education Department. EDU work channeling. And poof. So until the poll is over in 13 minutes, we will be unable to view the results. This is to prevent folks from being influenced by the active tallies, so we can grab authentic results. And we can go see here, BDAO Media Chat. Poof. And we'll vote. Don't look at my vote, guys. So we can see Governator will respond as you vote with the option that you chose, as well as your weight. And you can recast your vote to remove it, as well as switch your vote during the period. And we'll see what the results look like in about 12 minutes. And that's really all I've got for you. Governator is super lightweight, easy to use. Yeah, there's a slide deck that I missed. Sorry, Ernest. It's been a rough morning here. Is there anything else that you'd like me to share on?
Oh no, totally fine. Maybe just show how you log in and show the
Hmm.
like dashboard. Um,
So login, super simple. We grab a login button. This will pass us over to Discord to authorize that we can give Governator our username and just sign that we are who we are. Once that's approved, navigate into an individual community, and there we have the polls to look at.
nice.
We're working on redesigning. This is a little bare bones, shall we say. So we can take a look here at the POAP results that we had. This was a token weighted poll. 14 folks used their tokens to vote incorrectly on whether it's pronounced POAP or Pope. Um, on the backlog also includes things like quorum, so that we have established that enough people have voted to make a definitive result for a poll, as well as all the rest of the typical governance related features. So our backlog is quite long. I look forward to working on it. Ernest, I know that you've been diligently requesting ranked choice. That's something that I also want to be able to implement. The trick will be, how do you make ranked choice work in Discord easily? I think it would be potentially a little confusing to make it work there. But I digress. So stay tuned. If you want a little sneak peek, we got a little new wires coming out. Look at that beautiful thing right there. But I've
Yeah,
shared
no,
enough.
I super like it, and I really like how clean and smooth it feels. Um, Except for me needing to clear my cache sometimes, which is normal when you're testing things. Um, I haven't had any problems with it. Yeah,
Great.
no, super excited. And the rank choice is like really difficult because there's lots of websites you can use, and you got to validate by email, and so technically, like the email can be gamed. Um, of course, we're not like we try not to validate things by email. We're trying to figure out how to do that with Web3, and but yeah, it's most organizational units in the DAO don't really have a resolution process for ties.
Mm.
They just kind of redo their vote. Um,
I have one more thing to share. Uh, Account connection. So one of the interesting premises of Governator is that we are Web3 enabled. So you'll see that I don't have connect at the top level navigation. And that's because you don't need to be connected all the time in order to use the thing. And in fact, for a majority of for using this, kind of the Web3 connection is a little out of the picture. Um, so my account, the account page is where we would go to add all of your addresses. We use them in parallel, so you can add as many as you need. Um, we use Web3 Onboard for this. So connect to MetaMask. We'll see that right now I'm connected with CRX C3AD, which hopefully is what I have here. And we'll use standard sign in with Ethereum methods to just quickly verify that you are who you say you are. So, hey, you want to prove that you own 0xC3AD? Sign. I'll pass back and forth. And there you go. Added an additional account to my account. And so when I vote using any type of Web3 enabled token strategy, it will loop through all of these. I imagine there is use here in having dozens and dozens of addresses and causing our Alchemy API to run the bill. But for the most part, this is great. I love being able to vote in combination because my tokens are spread around many accounts, whether that's on MetaMask or Ledger or in a Gnosis safe even. All of those signing methods are straightforward to approve here and add to your list. So
with the like with the DAO Punks cohort, so we're voting with our DAO Punk tokens, our NFTs, but we're able to spread, if we have more than one NFT, we're able to spread our vote across multiple choices, right? So like if I have 6 DAO Punks, I can vote for this person with 2 of my DAO Punks. I can vote for this person, kind of like an election with 3 DAO Punks and this person with 1 DAO Punk. It's kind of like ranked choice voting, but it doesn't like bring you, it doesn't do the different cycles like first round, second round. But I wonder if there any on the backlog or does that like solve the one, how difficult would it be to like add in a feature that allowed you to spread your tokens over multiple, so that you could vote 10,000 for this person, 10,000 for this person, or is I guess I don't know what the name for that strategy is, but I'm curious, like, what you all are thinking and what the difficulty is.
So there's a few ways to go about it. We actually already had a feature built in which you could select both of these options, and your vote would be cast for both. The theory is, at least in terms of a Discord-oriented approach, or how you allow for it to be designed, is, do you want your vote to count for 1 for both, or do you want to split your votes among it? Because those are really the only 2 choices that we could make in a Discord native environment. In order to get to launch, we just opted not to include it because it was slightly a confusing feature. But I imagine it's something that we could revisit and determine or allow for the customizability of allowing you to vote for both. I also have this notion of something like a progressive web app or a progressive web poll, in which you can do, I cast a single vote here in Discord, but if I want a greater experience in voting, I want to fine-tune how my DAO punks are spread in maybe more of a coordinate style approach, where I have all my candidates, I can allocate 3 here, 2 here, 1 here. You would just need to come over to the web app to do so. And so we have feature to allow voting here in this front end, as well as backlog items for what investigating truly what does a progressive web poll look like, and allowing, so like someone can just quick vote. Okay, I know who my candidate is. I don't need to do ranked choice. There's no one who's better. Bop bop. Or I vote for these 2. I know that it's going to split my vote between them. That's fine. But coming to the web experience where you get a finer grained toolkit available to you outside of Discord, you can make those determinations a bit better. And so, yeah, the advent of this, the outcome is we can do anything. And so we shouldn't, and we need to really think about the impact of the features that we allow and how we advise that they be used. I think that's the tremendous flip side of this entire endeavor is the education piece. Hey, here's how you should do things if you're trying to do X, Y, and Z. Or here's what to consider with these options. And that's not always sexy to introduce the educational layer inside of the lightweight toolkit for voting.
Yeah, I didn't realize too that like so Discord is its own. I mean, I know Discord is its own environment, but it restricts kind of what you can do in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So if it just might, like if we did voting in education departments, and we use Snapshot, we would already be used to going to a web app to do our voting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we do our elections through the web app, but we do, most everything else just in Discord, one person, one vote or token weighted.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I didn't know. It makes a lot of sense that, yeah, the web app
and Discord
have more features.
Discord is rolling out new interactivity features. Like they have you would push a button and like a modal would pop up with select boxes. And so I'm eager to see what they come up with next, and always looking at it through this lens of, oh, how can this make some of these issues easier? Hey, look at that.
Nice.
4 votes. We don't know who the voters are. We know that there are 4. We know that they're all 4. Zep is great. And so here we can see we're preserving privacy of votes, privacy of voters. One thing we're negotiating right now and thinking about is allowing for the publication of voters, specifically voters, never what you have voted for. That's a hard line that I have for this product. But for example, with the integrations in reputation, ThriveCoin or whoever else, we do need to be able to share that these addresses or these Discord handles or these emails were the ones associated with voting. And so, again, it's an active negotiation, active discussion about, is that good? Are governance rewards good, or will they come with inherent philosophical issues with voting? And so what are those? How can we combat them? An example being, if there are rewards associated with voting, everyone will always be voting, and they'll just vote on whatever. We will not get authentic votes. And so perhaps we have an abstain feature that's required, or what's the one, Ernest, where it's like not clear or no confidence. So if you want to allow for reputation features or rewards for governance, you actually should be required to include votes of no confidence or abstentions in order to allow folks to ease vote, basically, unless they have conviction with which direction they want to take.
Yeah, I know the abstain is really important, because when you set quorum, and this is something a lot of people don't know, so when you're doing a simple majority, and your quorum counts as a vote, your abstention vote counts as a vote to meet quorum. So
hey, Ernest dropped off. You sound like a robot.
Oh no.
Oh, it's improving.
Mic check. Almost.
Okay.
Almost green bars.
Try again.
Yeah, waiting for green bars. Mic check.
You, you sound better now.
Okay, we'll go for it. The abstention and people to understand abstention is really important. Like with the grants committee, they have a quorum, so like at least 5 of them have to vote in order for something to get improved. But everybody, so for example, the governance department vote, they had 4 abstains, 1 no, and 1 yes. And so there was no majority because they met quorum because 6 people voted. Even though 4 were abstained, they still voted. So they count towards meeting the quorum of at least 5 of them having to vote. But it was a tie because 1 voted no and 1 voted yes.
Mm-hmm.
Had one of the abstains voted yes, or had the no person voted abstain, it would have passed with a simple majority. But there's a different type of simple majority that says the abstains do count towards quorum, but you only count the people that vote yes or no in quorum. So the total number of yes and no's actually need to be 5 to meet quorum, and then there has
Mm-hmm.
to be 3 yeses or 2 no's in order to get that passed. Um, and yeah, usually folks are just in agreement together. So a lot of the and a lot of groups don't have quorum in their guilds or departments or projects.
Yeah.
So hopefully this helps with that education a little bit. And yeah, it's already making some things a lot easier. Are you looking to bring Governator to other discords, or are do you got plenty of work? It looks like you got plenty of work just in the BanklessDAO Discord. Um,
yeah, we are. It's part of our grant spending KPIs is to go to market. It's also something that I want to be able to validate among other communities. So right now, um, talking with Bike Club, with Sobel, with Avagachi, Rep3, like there are the technology's been set up in a way where we can extend and do that already. So at least that's not super a part of the backlog. I'm not trying to, go out to 100 servers right now. I think that would be a mistake. But a small handful where we can validate and say, okay, this toolkit is working. People are publishing polls. We continue to. We're seeing this level of adoption, or we're seeing these requests. Saying, hey, I need this feature. I need this feature. So yes, trying to share, bring it out. I don't know if we've got it installed in DAOpunks yet, but we have a DAOpunks voting strategy already built.
nice.
So we can do that pretty easily. I'll reach out to Bushi. Um, yeah, the yeah.
Well, yeah,
I forgot
definitely
what
let me know. I'm in the DAOpunks Discord. I'm not active in the Avagachi Discord, but I do vote every now and then, and I am in the Discord. So happy to join you in any education in those other Discords that you may need. Um, yeah.
Great, thanks. I appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions? I know that I think we're over time here, aren't we? Unless it's the full hour.
Yeah, this is the moment to drill James for questions, learn more about Governator bot. Um, Feel free to drop some polls. I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes creating like a feedback form that folks can fill out and um, get an NFT for filling out the form. Bada bum. So I think everybody sounds good to go. We don't have any comments or questions.
Sorry, I just came in towards the end, so I'm going to have to go and try it out on my own.
Yeah, no, that'd be
But
great.
thanks, James. Appreciate it.
Super
No
easy.
problem. Thank you.
And yeah, I think, and folks can just start typing /Governator, yeah, into any of the Discord channels. It gives you an option to create a poll or to get help. And then,
So,
when
quick
you
question: where did the polls end up if you create it on the Discord? Does it end up in the channel that you created, or is there a specific channel for the Governator poll?
You can choose.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now we put this one in the BDAO media chat, which is right above our Discord audio right now. And then we're working on a feature right now to allow you to add that to existing threads, and just as well to create a thread with every poll that you create. I think that actually might be pretty interesting, is to allow that a space to discuss the poll exists when you create it, and to integrate with the Discord forum feature as well. I think that it can do that as well.
That's pretty interesting. So I can essentially turn your poll into a thread, and then that creates a thread. A lot of groups have like a polls channel, and then they have a discussions channel. And sometimes the discussions thread is just like a thread in the poll channel, so that the channel has the repository of polls for the history, and then the threads or a thread has the history of discussions. I do think creating a thread on each poll would help a little bit with discussions around the polls.
I agree. And then I also have this notion that I hope to build to one day of strongly templatized governance. So, for example, you would have a community configuration that says, oh, you can only publish to these channels. You can only use these types of responses, maybe. So, like, yes, no, abstain, no confidence is the template of options that you would choose. And it would be bank weighted. And of course, you can only use these types of voting strategies. You can't go about and creating your own or manipulating that way. So I really look forward to like the structure and confidence that those types of features can provide. But I think they're a little ways off. Lots to do, lots to build. Very fun.
Yeah, another, I guess, kind of nerdy question is, so Otter Space badges, it's essentially kind of like kudos. They have token IDs, like they're all the same contract. Do you have any idea of how, of course we're still testing the Otter Space badges, but have you you know, is that something that's on the backlog? Being able to vote with OtterSpace badges, or anything that's been like a discussion on how that might work? I know we're trying to figure out, you know, like what, you know, we got the OtterSpace badges, you know, and then the question is like, what's the utility for those OtterSpace badges? And it seems like this would be a good one. You know, you could, if we have roles associated with the OtterSpace badges, or the people that have collected them, you know, it'd be easy to gate the poll based on the role. But does the OtterSpace badge pose any interesting, you know,
Absolutely, yeah.
hurdles, or you know, um,
I mean, the hurdles are always the integration piece. So how do we tell OtterSpace to issue new stuff? So it's always an individual conversation. So definitely on the backlog to speak with OtterSpace. There's a bunch. There's just a bunch of folks that need to create individual integrations with. Being able to read is easier. So writing a voting strategy that says, oh, these are the OtterSpace badges that we want to be able to vote with. Here's the pattern to recognize and how you can just simply query and count. That is probably the easier part of the equation than to do issuance. So this kind of is a good rule of thumb for any integration. Example, Disco. So Disco does verifiable credentials. It is far easier for us to use existing credentials than it is to issue new credentials, just because of the way that we have civil resistance, or the integration layer is difficult to say, or the identity layer is confusing, right? We have a Discord account and multiple addresses. Does that align? Is that Venn diagram of accounts aligned with how Disco identifies accounts? What role does DID play? What role do multiple DIDs play? So being able to do the read layer is far easier than the issuance layer. But it's
that leads me to another question then. So, Gitcoin passport. Has there been any discussion, or you know, like, would it be easy to require Gitcoin passport for access to voting? You know, maybe it's a web app thing, not in Discord, but is there a way to gate polls based on Gitcoin passport?
My experience with Gitcoin passport is limited, but my instinct just says, yeah, probably.
Down the road kind of thing. But we're looking, you know, as we look at civil resistance in the DAO, right?
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a question, is like, do we want to add a layer of security or vetting, you know, like maybe departments, right? So maybe,
and then take those user objects and list them out in a votable format. Okay. As well as to have some sort of qualifying layer in there as well. Oh, to be eligible, you must have a verified Gitcoin passport and, you know, verified 35K bank, TL bank, whatever like the design looks like. That was the original vision. Because as Dev Guild organizer, I was getting tired AF of running elections, and missing deadlines and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just kind of a lot of operational overhead. So that's what we originally set out to build. We have the fundamental first step of that, right? Being able to have a multi-client, and multi-chain and address-oriented voting polls, right? Like the stuff we just reviewed is all requisite fundamentals of being able to have elections. The next steps for doing so, or to bring that vision to life, man, it's hard. that's a hard technical problem of designing and orchestrating the automated sequence of events and getting all of the nuance of what does eligibility look like? How do we design it? All the integrations required. It's definitely a challenge. And just as well, it's a challenge from a founder and a product perspective to say, oh, is that what we should build next? Or are these other features going to be more worthwhile or more broadly accessible? Especially when we consider that this tool might not just be for Web3. Plenty of Web2 use for it, plenty of Discord communities that are not NFT clubs or DAOs. Being able to extend the toolkit to be able to be used by all types of communities, not just Web3 communities. And that's why I love saying Web3 enabled rather than like something like Web3 native. So all of these integrations are great and wonderful, but they're for the little club, and the club is small, and the market for this tools and who could pay for it is kind of small, and so the challenge of a founder versus of the DAO organizer, right, is in my mind the battle between those two is how do I make sure I can build something that can have wide adoption, that can sustain the team working on it in the longer term using short-term stuff. So I have a dream where we do election automation. I have a idea in my mind about how it can be done. It's just a matter of prioritization and product market fit.
Yep. Yeah, so to wrap this up then, if there was one quiz question that you wanted to ask folks that watch this video, what would be that one quiz question that you want to drive home to people today?
One quiz question.
You know, what's the
I like pop quiz.
Yeah, like what's the one key thing you want people to remember about Governator?
Yeah, I got it. What is the difference between Sesh and Governator? It's the main difference. That would be my pop quiz.
And all right, maybe you can DM me the answer, and then I'll finish up the quiz and the feedback form. Really appreciate you coming in here and giving us this deep dive into not just the Governator, but a lot of the issues in self-administrating, our own governance as a community as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. It's been great to get up on the soapbox, show off my thing that I made.
Sweet.
Thanks.
What was that, Quiet Fox?
No, I just said thank you. That was quite a lot of information about voting, which I didn't know about. So that's quite interesting, where you can take this.
Yeah. You think it would be simple, right? Oh, you guys made Sesh again? Great. Why did we spend anything on this? No. It is a deep, dark forest.
It's multi-layered, isn't it? This whole election thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks a bunch, and I'll drop some links to the quiz here shortly and to the feedback form. Yeah, and thanks again for coming, and we'll get people educated on the tool and get people trying it out.
Yeah, try it out, break it, let me know. As our friend Links would say, the greatest gift that you could give is feedback. So try it out. Let me know what you hate, what you like. There's a feedback button at the top of the tool. You could drop a line there. My DMs are available. So thank you all for attending. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye, guys.